Hi, I'm Teresa from the Department for Child Protection in South Australia. The short video you're about to watch is a snippet from a longer conversation about how you should address the selection criteria of a job description when applying for a state government job. You can watch the full half-hour video on our YouTube channel if you'd like to give your application an advantage. We hope you find it useful.
How do I address the selection criteria? Do I just list each criterion in my application and comment on each one? Like, yes, I have that skill, or yes, I learnt about that in uni, so I have the knowledge that you need?
No, absolutely not. Remember, you are selling yourself to us. You have to prove that you're the best person for the job. Anyone can just make a statement like that. What we need is evidence that shows the selection panel how you meet the selection criteria and to what level.
So you mean like, I don't know, here's a potted plant that I grew from a seed, so here, hire me as your gardener.
Well, not quite, although you're on the right track. The key is to provide specific details that demonstrate both how and how much you meet the selection criteria. You do this by giving an example of when you used that capability and how you used it. And wherever possible, also tell us the outcome of your example or how you know your actions were successful.
But how would I do that without having to write a whole essay on every selection criteria?
Well, there's an easy way to do this, and it's by using the STAR model. STAR. The letters stand for situation, task, approach or action, and result.
So break it down for me.
Sure. STAR. The S stands for situation. This is where you provide a brief outline of a situation or setting where you use the capability. T is for task, where you outline what you did in that situation. A is for approach or action, where you outline how you did it. And finally, R stands for result, where you describe the outcome. Let me give you a very basic example. The situation was that my boss needed a coffee but was too busy to run across to the cafe. The task I set myself was to do her a favour and go to the cafe for her. My approach or action was to catch my boss in a free moment, get the money and her coffee order, advise my teammates that I would be back in 5 minutes, and then get the coffee and deliver it to my boss. The outcome was that my boss got her coffee and her mood lifted. So we all lived happily ever after.
I love that example. Thankfully, you had your cuppa before we started filming, so I don't have to run to the cafe for you. But anyway, putting aside our cravings for caffeine, how would you actually answer the selection criteria if you were applying for a job with the Department for Child Protection?
Well, I like to break it into 5 steps. Firstly, I need to make sure I understand the selection criteria. Then I consider my opening sentence. I brainstorm ideas for each criterion. I provide the evidence through an example. And finally, a step many people make the mistake of not doing, I check my answer.
Okay, so step 1, understanding the selection criteria. Let's take a common capability that you see in a lot of job descriptions, written communication skills. Talk me through it.
Sure. The associated selection criteria could be well-developed written communication skills, including the ability to structure written communications, such as reports to meet the needs and understanding of the extended audience, express opinions, informations and key points of an argument clearly and concisely, and to write convincingly in an engaging and expressive manner. It's important that you understand what is meant by each criterion before putting pen to paper. Check the key outcomes of the job and any other information provided about the job to see how each selection criteria relates to the expectations of the position. This is important because if you tell us that your exceptional writing skills are all about how good you are at writing poetry, that's not going to help the selection panel know how good you are at writing reports.
Good point. So understanding each selection criteria means also understanding how it relates to the outcomes of the job so we can give a relevant example to prove that we're capable. All right, so on to step 2, the opening sentence. Now I assume we're not going to be starting with once upon a time.
Definitely not. Keep the fiction and poetry for a job that needs it. When addressing each selection criteria, you should begin with an opening sentence that clearly states your claim to this criterion. For example, I possess strong written communication skills which I have developed over the course of my career. This opening statement then needs to be supported by at least one detailed example of when you demonstrated these skills in a relevant situation, such as a former job or in a volunteer commitment.